Real quick before the video starts, I have a new channel based around green tech stories on 4chan, and I'll be uploading videos daily over there. If you're interested, I'll leave a link to the channel in the description. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael, and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a user named Running Is Life in the FHOA subreddit. The post is titled, "We voted to remove our board president and now she is refusing to leave. Our homeowners association president has been wreaking havoc in our community for years. After enduring endless harassment and targeted enforcement, we followed our bylaws to hold a vote for her removal. The process mirrored one she herself used last year to remove another board member she did not like. The vote passed decisively, with 1/4 of our neighborhood and 74% of all voters voting to remove her. But now she refuses to step down, and the management agency is backing her up. When we initially requested the board schedule the vote, the entire board ignored us for over 30 days. Instead, the president and her husband began harassing residents, demanding that we hand over the list of petition signers to them and making intimidating posts on our neighborhood Facebook group. Those whom they believed had signed the petition received retaliatory enforcement and were banned from the community page. After we made our initial request, it was clear that everyone knew about it, yet no vote was ever scheduled and no one reached out to us. Our bylaws allow us to schedule the meeting after 30 days, so after enduring this obstructive behavior for over a month, we hired a neutral third party to run the vote for us. Despite all the obstacles, we succeeded. Now the president claims she did not get a chance to speak, even though she obstructed the process at every turn and refused to speak. She is the liaison with the management agency, and they take only her direction on everything. A majority of the board wants her to go, but the management agency will not listen to them, and the board members are all quitting in protest. Now they are forcing a second vote, which will of course be managed and counted by the management agency. This change rewards her for all of her obstructive and retaliatory behavior and undermines the integrity of the process. The entire situation feels rigged to reward obstruction and ignore the will of the community. Edit. For those asking, this homeowners association is in Washington State. Update. A while back, I posted about how our community voted to remove our homeowners association president. We followed every rule in our bylaws to organize the vote, and 74% of the people who participated voted to remove her. She refused to leave. Instead of respecting the results, she claimed the process was invalid, told the management company to ignore it, and kept acting like she was still in charge. Several board members quit in protest, and things got even more hostile. So we took her to arbitration. After months of fighting, the arbitrator issued a ruling that confirmed everything we did was valid. Our petition was valid, our notice was valid, the vote was valid. Her removal is official. Effective immediately, she is off the board. That all said, we had to spend our own time and money and were fought every step of the way by the board, the management company, an attorney they work with, and a lawyer appointed by American Family Insurance. We were held to a much higher standard than the management company holds itself to. Our process followed the law more closely than theirs ever has, especially considering they once ran a vote where someone submitted multiple copies of the same ballot photo. If you try the same thing, your procedures need to be bulletproof and you have to have $25,000 lying around to enforce your rights. Lola Guts said, "Wow, that's ridiculous. The management company should have to reimburse them." To this, Various Froyo said, "Honestly, it seems like there is room for a couple of lawsuits to recover damages here. Karen wants to ignore the process, pretend she is still in charge, and directs the management company to do the same. That forced the homeowners to hire lawyers to make her follow the rules. The management company wants to back Karen despite being presented with all the correct information. That cost the homeowners money to hire lawyers to fix that mistake. There is always the adage, you can't squeeze blood from a stone when considering a lawsuit. But considering that Karen, the instigator in all of this, might have to sell her property and move if you sued her aggressively, well, that could be worth it on its own." This next post was made in the AITA subreddit by a user named Special Ad. The post is titled, "I'm going to be brutally honest with my friend about why women don't like him." Yes, this is a long post, but it is a long story. Please hear me out. My friend, whom I will refer to as Nathan, a 25-year-old man, has had terrible luck with women for a very long time. He does have a bright future ahead of him in terms of his career though. He just graduated from college last year and is currently in law school. However, he has been homeschooled his whole life and does all his college courses and law school online, not in person. This leads me to my next point. He has never had a girlfriend, never been out on a successful date, is still a virgin, and does not have many friends in general. As a result, his social skills are extremely underdeveloped. His only real socialization was with older people, parents, grandparents, and other elders, as well as myself, since we met through family friends. So he was raised in a very sheltered way and does not have anything in common with anyone his own age, let alone women his own age. To add to all of this, he has been laser focused on school and being the best student he can be, so grades have been his top priority during his formative years. There is nothing wrong with that, but he never took a break to experience life or try new things. Nathan has met multiple girls that his family introduced to him, starting in 2021 all the way until now. They have tried to get these girls to give him a chance, but they end up just not liking him. I really hate not being on his side and supporting him through the constant rejections from these girls, but it has reached a point where they all have the same complaints about him. Nathan is about 5 feet, 2 inches tall, and body-wise has a very skinny and petite build. He is also beginning to bald and has no bodily strength whatsoever. He starts shaking just from holding a grocery bag. I hate to sound rude, but the truth is the truth. He is built like a little girl and has the hairline of a father of 3. While I understand that his height cannot be changed and his hair is difficult to control, he can at least start working out and possibly add some weight and muscle to give himself a more masculine appearance. I suggested doing this with him during a general conversation. Whenever I go to the gym, I invite him to join me as a hobby or to be my gym buddy. He has declined numerous times, and the one time he did go, he struggled to lift a 10-pound weight, so he stopped going. Okay, whatever. The way Nathan dresses is very much like an older man. He tucks in his shirt, wears dress pants and slacks, and dress shirts on ordinary days. I asked him why he does not dress more comfortably every day, like wearing a jogging outfit, a hoodie, some jeans or sweatpants, and that he should wear sneakers instead of dress shoes every day. He does not think there is anything wrong with how he dresses and wants to look professional since he is going to be a lawyer one day. I explained to him that lawyers wear suits and ties, not tucked in button-up flannel shirts, and they do not dress like that every single day, only when they are working. Sadly, he was not open to changing his style. Then it finally hit me. It is his personality, or rather, the lack of one. I am not trying to speak poorly of him, but to be objective, he has the personality of a brick. I have seen with my own 2 eyes how he talks to girls and how he acts on dates. He cannot hold a conversation to save his life. He is not funny and has 0 charisma. He is almost mute on all double dates and one-on-one dates he has been on, and it is painfully awkward to watch. It is not as though the girls are not trying either. I have managed to get him dates, but they go nowhere due to his sheer lack of confidence, personality, or interest. When he talks to a woman, it seems like all he knows how to talk about is just school. And if it is not school, it is just radio silence or some topic that only older people would understand or care about. I have also noticed that every time he and I go out somewhere, and I am not sure if it is due to his size, he is scared and flinches whenever people walk past us. He is always afraid that doing anything or going anywhere fun or interesting is too wild or dangerous for him. For example, concerts, bars, amusement parks, etc. So I did it. He whined and whined, kept being full of bitterness, complaints, and negativity, talking badly about women and saying they never want good men and only want players or good-looking tall guys. I ended up telling him straight out that the reason he does not get anywhere with girls is because he is a dork. I told him I do not care if he is a dork since I am not the one dating him, but that girls crave excitement, fun, or at least someone they can talk to about anything or have fun experiences with. I told him he refuses to change anything physically about himself, and to top it off, he will not even make himself at least interesting or fun to be around. He is completely dull. That is why he cannot attract or keep a partner. He then got mad at me and accused me of picking on him and making fun of him, and said that I am holding his life circumstances against him. I told him I am not, and I wish I were just saying nonsense. I am telling him the truth. I explained that his lack of social skills and appearance are not necessarily his fault, but if someone is giving you advice on what is stopping you from getting where you want to be and how to change it, you should take that advice and stop complaining. It is not reasonable to think everyone should accept you as you are because, newsflash, we all have flaws. I told him that if he wants to get somewhere with girls and not have constant competition, then he needs to have something to make up for it. There are plenty of lawyers and future lawyers in the world, and simply saying I graduated college is not going to make someone feel a connection or attraction to you. He told me I am jealous that he is succeeding academically and that other girls are the problem for not seeing his worth and future success, and that if that is not enough for them to be with him, then they are the ones not good enough for him. I have not talked to him since then, and I refuse to associate with someone who thinks I am jealous of them for giving constructive criticism on a problem they constantly complain about. My father says I am right, but also that it is probably an insecurity on his part and that I should apologize and try not to be too hard on him. I feel like I should not be friends with someone who cannot ever see what is wrong with them or accept their flaws without crying about it and blaming others. To me, that is just plain toxic. Update. I just wanted to say that I got in contact with Nathan and apologized to him for being too harsh. I tried explaining that even though I was harsh, I was just frustrated and trying to help him since I figured he needed someone to be blunt with him, but it was not my intention to hurt his feelings or anything. I made sure to express that I do care about him as a person and just wanted to guide him since he seemed lost in the world of dating. He did not really accept my apology. He told me that I am on the path to being a broke loser bum because I am in a different field than him. He decided that everything I told him was just out of jealousy and that he thinks, and I quote, he is owed the highest form of respect for being a good man who is a future legal representative. Since I was not giving him that, he said we should stop being friends. He also tried to tell me that I should watch out for disrespecting him because in the future, my life will be in his hands and he will have the power to put me in jail. I assured him that jealousy and the highest form of respect definitely was not the case, but if that is how he feels, then so be it. At least I know I tried and did my part. I also wanted to answer some questions I've seen people ask under the original post for some clarity. Yes, he is 5 feet 2 inches tall. Yes, he is very skinny and small. Every physical attribute I have mentioned and described is real. Some people thought I was exaggerating or lying, but I am not. For those asking how he is doing college and law school online, he was studying online classes at the University of Florida. As for law school, I know which one he is attending, but I will not say for privacy reasons. As for why he has been doing everything from home or online his whole life, it is because his parents are very overprotective of him. They have consistently worried about school shootings, kidnappers, and so forth, even to this day. For those asking if his family is religious, yes, they are. However, mine is too, as are many others. This has not stopped anyone from growing into a different or better person, nor has it caused me or anyone I know, besides Nathan, to have a one-track mind. For those asking if he is autistic, he is not diagnosed, so I do not want to say yes. But does he exhibit signs of severe autism? Yes, he does. The lack of social and self-awareness was a clear sign for me, but I do not want to label him if I am wrong. For those who mentioned how he plans to be a lawyer with no talking or social skills, I discussed this with him during our last conversation. I told him to forget about women and politely explained that he also needs to improve his communication and social skills if he plans to be a successful lawyer, because without that, he is not going to get very far. He told me he has got it all figured out, and that as long as he gets that degree, that is all he needs to be ultra successful in law. I told him that is not how it works. You quite literally have to be slightly manipulative and convincing to make a name for yourself, because what good is your degree if you cannot perform your job well? He once again tried to tell me that I am jealous and do not know what I am talking about. So yes, after all that, I have accepted that our friendship is over and I am not sure where he is going to land in the future, whether in terms of romantic relationships or his actual career. I was also the only friend he had, so I do wish him the best and hope life does not humble him to the point of no return. I do not think he is a bad person, just out of touch with reality, and I hope that does not backfire too harshly on him. Corpusculent Cortex said he is going to get eaten alive in a firm. He would be lucky to get an interview. He definitely will not make it past 5 minutes of face-to-face. To this Sierra C Witch said, I am not a hiring manager, but as an attorney who has worked in both the private and government sectors, personality is the most important part of all interviews. I mean, we all pass the bar. We can all do the work in theory. It comes down to who can I hire who will be a good member of the team, someone I want to work with every day, and this guy just is not it. I mean, yikes. I also see a lot of people commenting about the big firms, but he is studying in Florida and likely to take the Florida bar. The big law culture there is not the same as it is in New York City, where they might be happy to churn him through the machine in a document review back room. Maybe he would take the uniform bar examination and transfer to a bigger jurisdiction, but he does not seem like the kind of guy who would move across the country without his parents for a job either. This final post was made in the Entitled People subreddit by a user named Goddess Viking. The post is titled, "The friend of my stepdaughter thought they could try to throw a pool party. The front of my driveway has a sign that reads, private property, no trespassing as you pull up to it. I have a fence around my pool to keep out unwanted animals and intruders, and the only way in is with a key to unlock the gate. I have security cameras placed at certain parts of the house pointing toward the pool. Last summer, while I was away, my phone alerted me that my security camera had caught something, so I checked the live footage. It was 3 teenagers, all in their early teens, and 1 adult trying to climb the fence to my pool. I have a tarp over my pool at all times, which can only be removed from a switch inside my house. You would think they would see the tarp and leave. I immediately called the police and they told me they would take care of it. The 4 did not even attempt to leave. They kept trying to climb the fence. I watched as all 4 were arrested. The day I got home, my neighbor, who must have been watching from my car, stormed over and started screaming at me. My sister and her kids are going to have a criminal record now because of you. I said, so that is who my cameras detected. You should know my sign in front of my house says private property, no trespassing. She said she would see me in court when their court dates came up. The sister of the neighbor pleaded in court that it was a hot summer day and they wanted to cool down. So her sister insisted that they use my pool but to ignore the sign because her sister and I are good friends. My neighbor and I are not good friends. I explained to the judges that I did not give consent for my neighbor or anyone else to use my pool while I was gone. The judges saw all the necessary evidence, especially the sign in my driveway saying no trespassing, and found the neighbor and her sister guilty of second-degree trespassing, which in my state carries a punishment of a $200 fine and 20 days in jail. The judge also found the 2 nephews and niece guilty. My lawyers requested a restraining order, which was granted as well. The teen's lawyer tried to argue that the teenagers did not know about the sign in my driveway, but the judge dismissed this because they willingly listened to their mother and aunt, who told them it was okay to trespass. Update. Ever since one entitled neighbor had her family trespass on my property last year, my husband and I have been pretty quiet about when we will open our pool and only tell those we trust. I made a post telling the story about this entitled neighbor. So you do not have to ask. Yes, my property has security cameras pointed around the yard, especially at the pool. Yesterday, my husband was at the store buying supplies so we can start preparing our pool. One of our neighbors saw him and asked, "So when are you opening the pool this year?" My husband said, "We do not have a set date, but we will see. After what happened last year, we might just have it be family only. If we plan anything for a gathering, we will keep people posted." The entitled neighbor's brother, who was shopping nearby, suddenly acted entitled toward my husband, saying, "You and your wife are so selfish." The prior residents in that house used to let the pool be open to any other house to come over as long as they watched their kids. My husband told him, "Look, we have had an uptick in wild animals crossing over our property the last couple of years. That is why we had a fence put up around the pool, and it is our private property. We do not have to always have people over, especially if we are not home." Then my husband left. I am not sure why the brother is now acting entitled. It is what got his sisters in trouble last year. Update 2. Today, my stepdaughter called me during my lunch break to ask if she could have a friend over, which I said was fine. My stepdaughter is very mature for her age. She is 17. While my husband and I work, my stepdaughter and her siblings watch the house with my parents, who pop in to check on them. When my dad arrived, a few other cars were right behind him. He asked, "Can I help you?" It was 4 cars full of teenagers, and one of them said, "Yeah, old man, we're here to use the pool." Stepdaughters said she was having a pool party. My dad told them to stay put and went to find my stepdaughter. When he found her, she said she did not say anything about a pool party. It was just supposed to be one friend coming over. That was it. My dad called me and explained the situation. I told him to tell the rest of the teens, except one named Josie, to leave. In a text I just received from my dad, he says he went back out and told the teens they needed to leave, but because he knows Josie, he told her to stay put. The other teens all called my dad a party pooper and flipped him off as they left. My dad talked to Josie and asked why she had so many people with her. Josie said she drove by herself. Within a few minutes, another girl arrived and asked where everyone else was. My dad asked her, "Did you tell everyone there was a pool party?" The girl said, "Yeah, everyone knows stepdaughter has a pool." My dad told her the pool was not even remotely ready, and he recognized her as the granddaughter of 2 of his friends who go out to breakfast with my mom on Saturdays. My dad told her to leave, and she told him to go away using rude language. My stepdaughter stormed out and yelled at the girl, telling her to leave and that she was not entitled to think she could throw a pool party. The girl eventually left, and Josie explained that the girl was with her, and as soon as Josie got the okay to come over, the girl thought they could throw a pool party without checking in with my stepdaughter first. I am proud of my stepdaughter for helping my dad. As for the other girl, I am sure my dad will be talking to her grandparents tomorrow morning about how rude their granddaughter was to him. Update 3. My parents stopped by to say they spoke with the girl's grandparents during their traditional Saturday breakfast with friends, and they are friends with the girl's grandparents. My father asked his friends what caused her to think she was so entitled to make up such a lie about his step-granddaughter having a pool party. The man responded, "She has been having a very stressful year with her parents' separation, and without the balance of both parents in her life at the same time, she has been acting out a lot more to get attention and to cause trouble wherever she is planning. She has recently gotten in trouble for shoplifting, getting gas at a gas station where they pump the gas for you, and then driving off once her car's tank is full, and so much more trouble. Each time she is confronted, she screams that she is entitled." The wife replied, "Her father was never this way, but for her to be behaving now with these entitled ways is ridiculous, and she has been warned several times by both parents to stop acting entitled and causing trouble where there was none. They both feel her parents are doing everything they can to ensure she is all right. Just because they are now heading for divorce does not mean she is less loved, but she is not listening." My father told his friend, "The next time she does anything to alienate my step-grandchildren, I am getting the police involved and suggesting she go to jail. I am surprised she hasn't gone already." Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and thank you also to partner of the channel, GamerSupps. Use code DLAM to support the channel and get 10% off of your purchase, link in the description. I'm sure many of you like me have a hankering for daily caffeine, so go check them out. Lately, I've been a big fan of Titty Milk and Acid Rain, but they've got dozens of other flavors for y'all to try out. Anyway, thanks again for reaching the end, and I hope you all have an amazing passage of the next 24 hours.